What if I tell you that some people are brushing twice a day, flossing religiously? They go see their dentist every single year, yet they are still losing their teeth. Welcome to the Wonder Tooth Podcast. My name is Dr. Radwa Saad. I am your host today. Before I keep going, make sure you put code DENT, DENT, 103 to get a complimentary consultation in our office. Don Blanche Dental. We are in New Jersey, but we also do virtual consultations as well. So today we are going to discuss big factors that can cause tooth decay. Tooth decay is actually number one disease in the whole entire world. It comes before cardiovascular disease or heart disease. It comes before cancer. This is something that nobody really knows about, but teeth cavities or cavities are basically number one disease in the entire world. So today we are going to discuss how to prevent them, how are the symptoms, and what causes them to begin with. So a lot of people, they say it's sugar or poor brushing or bad habits, but really it's much more complex than this. So there are a lot of hidden causes within your mouth every day that can cause cavities. And what are they? We're going to discuss that today. I continue. Said my name is Dr. Saad, and I've been doing dentistry for over 20 years. I practice in the state of New Jersey, and we are opening a new location in New York City. And I practice in Canada. I have basically, I've done it all. And I'm also a speaker for one of the largest dental companies in the world. We're not talking about any of the company. This is really pure education, pure today. And just to help you guys to know what's going on in your mouth and how to stop this. So as we're going to discuss the real causes of tooth decay, we're going to what can contribute to decay and early symptoms that a lot of people they don't really think of, and pros and cons of some of the treatments, and exactly just how to prevent cavities naturally and medically as well. So some of the people who are watching us on YouTube, I'm gonna be showing today how to brush your teeth properly, in the proper way. But there are also people who are listening to us on the podcast on Apple, Apple or Spotify or iHeartRadio. Make sure you also check our YouTube channel to get the most out of it as well. It's still under the Wonder Tooth Podcast. So we are the Wonder Tooth Podcast on YouTube and pretty much everywhere else as well. So the information can literally change your oral health for life. So stay with me till the end and make sure to subscribe, like, share this particular for yourself to get back to it, or also to share it with some of your friends and, family. And so we're going to discuss first what is tooth decay. It's not just a hole in the tooth. It's a disease. As I said, is number one disease in the entire world. So it really starts when there is bacteria. There is normal bacteria that live in your mouth. And the most important one or number one big problem called strep mutans or Streptococcus mutans. I'm getting a little bit technical, but don't worry about it. But basically, it's a bacteria. It lives in your mouth, and it's just waiting to be fed. And how are you gonna feed it? I'll go over that in a few minutes. But basically, that lives in your mouth in harmony with other bacteria as well, just like in your gut. You have bacteria that live in your gut, in harmony, unless something start to bother them or cause some of them to multiply much more than other ones. So they are living in your mouth now in harmony until you start to give them food, which is really the most important one. It's carbs and sugar. And then, okay, so the bacteria was like, you're giving me some food, let me get the process going. So what do? They start to produce acid. They're not just living there and like happy. They are producing acids. And then this is when the problems start to happen. So the acid now is between some of your teeth or on top of those tiny grooves on top of your teeth on the biting surfaces. And then the acid starts to demineralize your enamel. What does that mean? It starts to attack the enamel, and the enamel is the most important part of your tooth because this is the hardest one. It's made of 98% minerals. So it's very hard to break it. It's very hard, like you cannot, break it with a hammer, but the acid can just start to dissolve it. And they start attack, and over time, tiny little minerals, that, incorporated within your enamel start to dissolve, and the tooth starts to become weak. And then this starts to become porous. And then basically it undermines, especially if it's in between your teeth or on the top part of your tooth. And then you bite something and then boom, I have a hole in my mouth. And that's called so demineralization is pretty much like when the acids start to attack your own enamel in the teeth. So a lot of people, they go to their dentist, and the dentist, oh, you have a cavity, you have this, and it's like, I don't have pain, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't hurt me, I'm just gonna wait. So if you go to your dentist, sometimes we will say, I'm gonna put this on watch, and that's basically there is beginning of demineralization that started, but it's not enough that we can put a filling yet. So there are certain classification for a tooth cavity. If it's still in the outer layer of the enamel, that can be reversed. That cavity can be reversed and basically go back to normal. And there is an episode that I spoke specifically about how to reverse a cavity. You can go back and as well. But basically, still in the outer layer of the enamel, it can still be reversed. Let's say it got deeper, and now it's not just in the enamel, but it crossed that little tiny line between the enamel and the dentin. Okay, if it got that deep, then you need a filling. But a cavity, it doesn't really start with pain. A lot of people, it does not start with pain. And this is why we take x-rays. This is why it is important to take x-rays once a year. Not every time you go to the dentist, unless if you go for an emergency, but at least once a year, you need to get some, x-rays taken so that the dentist can help you. But as I said, there are certain fillings or that can be on watch if it's like very initial, still in the outer, early stages, and basically the dentist will go over how to clean it, how you can reverse it to become like to reverse the demineralization back. If you don't do nothing and you listen, he's like, yeah, just leave now, it becomes an actual cavity that will need a filling. So they don't really start. So cavities, they don't start with pain. They don't start with a hole. They don't start with like a dark spot. And they're just tiny little enamel minerals that are breaking down within the inside of the tooth, but you cannot see it. And then when you start to feel, oh, something is hurting me or something is bothering me, well, now it's too late. Now, okay, now we have an actual cavity that we need to fix. And this is when you start to be like, but nothing was bothering me before. How did I even get the hole all of a sudden? It's been going for a while now. Okay, and remember to get an x-ray, or maybe we usually take like bite wings, like a couple of x-rays on each side, and one here and one here. Once okay, unless if you're going to for the very first time ever to the dentist, then they need to take what's called an FMX or a full mouth series just to check everything as well. So what are the causes of cavities now? Let's say I have patients, I don't eat carbs, I don't eat sugar. Why am I getting cavities still? A big number one suspect now is actually dry mouth. When you have low saliva, saliva is your number one defense system in your mouth. Number one defense, because it has immunoglobulins, which is basically all those natural line of to protect your teeth, your enamel from the attacks of the bacteria that live in, or basically we call them the microbiome. So number one is dry mouth. And how do you get dry mouth? I mean, dry mouth is very, like saliva is important, as I said, because it has the immunoglobulin. So also it cleans the surfaces of your teeth. It washes away, if there is like a plaque, food, it kind of washes, but also it can neutralize the acid in your mouth. And it can rebuild the enamel because the saliva has minerals are built within it, and then they can remineralize. Remember how to reverse a cavity, my episode before? You should really watch it or listen to it because there's a lot of information there, and it protects your mouth against the bacteria. So, okay, Now we have low saliva. So now you lost your first line of defense, and what's gonna happen now is it's dry. And this is or sticky. It becomes really sticky. And this is, you're giving now the bacteria the absolute perfect spot for them to just stick on your teeth and basically start to attack your teeth even more. But what causes dry mouth? Like everybody, do you have dry mouth all the time? It could be the number one really problem is medication. So a lot of us, unfortunately, you have a problem, you have this. So number one side effect is dry mouth. So medication is number one. And anxiety, and if you're very anxious or stressed, I mean, listen, everybody, there's a lot going on in everybody's life. So you just have to breathe and basically try to do a little bit of maybe some stress-free exercises to kind of release your anxiety a little bit. And then I also have a couple of other episodes about how to conquer anxiety. So you should just kind of try to minimize the stress a little bit. Mouth breathing is another one. So mouth breathing, it comes in a lot of forms. So people who sleep on their back, you wake up in the morning and you feel like your mouth is very dry, or your front teeth, and this is important, your front teeth, the gum is bleeding in the front but not in the back. And that's always an indication that there is some dry mouth going on. Or you get more cavities in the front but not in the back. And why is because you're sleeping on your back, so gravity, so your saliva now is sitting in the back, but the front is not, and your mouth, so it becomes dry. And then the saliva is like perfect spot for me. Let's go and attack now. So mouth breathing a lot of times can be associated with a problem in breathing in the nose, adenoids, or even worse, sleep apnea. So if that's the case, maybe you should go check with your dentist and take it from there, go see the ENT. Or if you have some snoring issues too, you might want to get yourself checked for sleep apnea. A lot of people, they don't think sleep apnea is common in kids, but it's actually very, very common. And if your kid, they don't sleep well and they wake up, then they're irritated, I don't want to do nothing, and they're just for no reason whatsoever, it could be some sort of sleep apnea going on. There are certain features actually in the face, like basically they have like long face, mouth, literally like their mouth is open because they are trying to grasp some air, and mouth breathing and cavities in the hair, and they just feel restless all the time. We call also, it comes with restless leg syndrome. I have a couple more episodes about sleep apnea too, that you can go back to for more. But sleep apnea is very common in kids. So all the parents out there, look at your child. If you start to see that there are like literally they look like this, their mouth is open, you need to get them checked for possible sleep apnea, guys. I really mean it. And it starts from like a really young age. So causes of dry mouth, side effects of certain medications, stress and anxiety, mouth breathing, and aging, because to kind of lose shape, not just your body but also in, so your soft in the back, if you open your mouth big and you say your soft palate, it starts to actually to droop. It's a muscular thing, but it starts to droop down. So, and that can also cause some sleep apnea down the line too. Or just simply dehydration. You're not drinking enough water. Everybody's walking around with a huge cup of coffee and they're just sipping the coffee. And what's going to happen now? Well, it's taking all the water away from you. So you need just to drink plenty of water. Plenty of water. I mean, I would just not even like 2 liters of water. I would just drink a little bit more. Okay. So now first suspect now or factor for cavities is dry mouth. And so many times I've had patients, oh my God, floss. They come to see the dentist and yet they're getting cavities. And I'm like, what is going on? Yes, they are taking like some serious, I mean, you need to take your medication, but you also need to try to lubricate your tissues. And how do you do that? There is a lot of things, there is another episode that I also did about dry mouth, but basically it's called xerostomia, and you can drink water. There are certain medication that can increase your salivary flow, certain over-the-counter stuff, a lot like a whole regimen to kind of minimize the dry mouth. So dry mouth, Now, what else? Acidic foods and drinks. That's like big number two suspect here. Because, anything water, it's considered acid, unless if it's milk. Milk is more alkaline. But think tea, juice, snacks, food has acid in it. Okay, and acid is a big problem because we have the bacteria, and now we're even more acid. We're putting more acid around those teeth. So it's not just sugar. It's much more than this. You're going to be really surprised now of what I'm going to tell you, because a lot of the patients, they say, oh, this is, yes, but in one lemon water. My husband himself, and I said, what are you doing here? Oh, lemon water, it's healthy. It's good for your guts. Yeah, it's good for your guts, but it's going to destroy your teeth. Okay. And I mean, he thinks I am married to a really good dentist. She's going to take care of me. But I'm like, prevention is key. Prevention. I'm not doing this. You got to really take care of yourself. So lemon water, a lot of patients, a lot of people, glass of water, I'm hydrating, and then they put lemon. So they squeeze a couple of lemon drops here and there, or you put a lemon and you're chewing on your lemon, and it's like, it's lemon. Yes, but you are eroding. Have you heard of the word erosion? You are removing the enamel of your teeth. Okay, guys, anybody who is listening to me or watching me now, and you see your partner or your friends doing lemon water, it should be in moderation. And if you do that, afterwards, you have to rinse with plain water. I don't care if it's tap water, distilled water, bottled water, plain water. Soda, of course. Soda is a very big suspect here because my child actually, in his 7th grade, he did a whole big project for the curriculum fair talking about the effect of different drinks on extracted teeth. I got him some pulled teeth and he soaked them, and it's really, I don't have to say that now, but soda and a lot of other drinks that's not water will affect basically the integrity of the enamel, the minerals, the little tiny particles in that enamel. It's going to affect them. Energy drinks, sports drinks. Oh, I like my sports drink. I like this. It gives me energy. It gives me, yes, but it's also eating your enamels away, and God knows what else is doing. So you need to make sure, I'm not saying I'm not against any of this, but you have a little bit of water after, plain water, just rinse with it. Make sure you swish it around so it doesn't sit around the neck of the teeth. And this is a very common area where cavities or acid erosion start to happen. Wine, apple, vinegar, kombucha. Yeah, kombucha is healthy, but a lot of it, it has acid in it. Tomatoes, anything that's not water can cause increase in your mouth, and basically you're now destroying the enamel. So as have you watched that the ad where they put that egg in whatever vinegar or whatever, and then it starts to kind of break down? It's pretty much the same like your teeth, but at least you have more control over your tooth. So you need to make sure anything that's not water, you have to make sure you rinse with a little bit of water right after. So this is important. Then also what's important, and a lot of people, they don't know it. Let's say you drank a whole big bottle of kombucha now, and you go, I'm gonna be good. And you bring your toothbrush and you start to brush it right away. Don't do that. Don't do that, because now there is already acid sitting there, and you're going with whatever hard, moderate bristles brush you are scrubbing because you want to get rid of it. And then so now you are basically brushing the acid over, you're spreading it over, and then the enamel is going to even disintegrate even more faster. Just rinse with water. Okay, don't brush right after, just rinse with water, like really well. You can floss, but rinse with water really, really well. Okay.